Andrew Urquhart with you on the program today. The shocking case of Portia Mao, New Zealand journalist who got on the wrong side of the Chinese Communist Party. But hey, she lives in New Zealand, so no problem there, you would think. However, let's just say the Chinese Communist Party has influence even here in New Zealand. And, as I say, it's a bit of a shocking case. To explain and unpack the story so far, joining us on the program is Stephen Franks from the Free Speech Union. Stephen, kia ora, nice to chat with you.
And you, Andrew.
Firstly, can you give us a background for those who aren't familiar with the details? What has been the story so far with Portia Mao?
Portia's been a journalist for a long while. She was a researcher for an investigation Stuff did into the influence of the People's Republic of China, into the government, the people from the embassy, and generally their influence in universities, and the way that they were intimidating local people in New Zealand, and including a lot of Chinese who came here from Taiwan and from Malaysia and other areas, who criticised or were thought not to be loyal to China. The People's Republic has an approach that says if you're of Chinese descent, you owe your primary loyalty to China wherever you live. Mm-hmm. And therefore they have been quite successful over the last 20 years in frightening a lot of local Chinese out of their expectation that they have all the normal privileges of New Zealanders.
With Portia's case, the response from the Chinese government working through New Zealand agents, what was the situation there? I mean, the Free Speech Union took a successful case, but what was behind the case, Stephen?
She's been persecuted using the law that was passed, the well-meaning law that was passed to stop digital harassment. That law has been weaponised now by a number of people in powerful positions, but it's also been weaponised by people. And when we say that the PRC, we don't know that they're paid agents or that they are actually in an instruction role, but they're people who have declared that they're there to advance the interests of China.
Yep.
They have used the anti-harassment law. Unfortunately, it was a law that says expressly that that truth isn't a defence. So you may be saying something truthful about someone, but if it makes them feel bad, they can persuade a court to go for you. We helped her defend that, and in the end, the court came down on her side as we expected it would all along.
Yep.
But of course, there's a big cost to that. You know, the process is the punishment. Now they've turned to defamation actions, two separate individuals, and she's got a defamation action from one in the district court and a defamation action from another in the High Court, and it's all with the same objective. And when you read the claims as a lawyer, they're ludicrous, they're laughable, but They're not laughable to someone who has to meet the costs of them.
Exactly, and let's just say the Chinese Communist Party, the Democratic, the Chinese authorities have deeper pockets than even the FSU, to be fair.
Yes, yeah, they do. This really should be remedied by the courts looking at it and saying, we have to send a very strong message here that the court processes will not be weaponised in this way. Mm-hmm. And it's within their powers to make a really swingeing cost award against them, and in fact to not show the tolerance that they've been showing to these actions. They're so transparently trumped up that, in my view, the judges should have been more blunt earlier, and they should have made sure it was very expensive for these people.
So, I mean, Stephen, wearing multiple hats in this regard, pick the hat that fits the best, whether it be FSU, your role as a lawyer, or a former MP. What needs to change here? What would be an ideal response to the current litigation against Portia?
The Harmful Digital Communications Act is bad per se. Mm-hmm. It needs change. The FSU has drafted some changes, and we've been promoting those to the government. They should be adopted. They should be favoured by a number of by any party that's interested in freedom of speech. They will be looking to make that an election issue next year. manifestos, big manifestos have sort of gone out of fashion, but if parties have manifestos, we'd like that to be on the manifesto of some of the parties and go into a coalition agreement. But I think judges can just be a bit more clear that when they see the abuse of process, use your cost discretion and whack the people who have been abusing process. But defamation is really a vital tort. Defamation, free speech isn't antithetical to defamation action. People should have a remedy for if they've been lied about. But in this case, the lies are on the side of the person suing.
Yeah. No, certainly. For people who are also advocates for free speech and see this as an attack, not just on Portia Mao, but on free speech generally in New Zealand, how can people be involved at an individual level? Power to the people, Stephen?
Don't underestimate the effect of adding your voice. It used to be writing a letter to the paper. But of course, the papers have lost a lot of power, and they deservedly have lost a lot of power because they're not crusading on issues like this. But on social media, distribute the story. If the story is showing up, distribute it. Add your voice. Make sure that other people know about it. And I can tell you that getting a message to your MP still matters. You open your emails in the morning, even as an opposition MP, and there might be a couple of hundred, but you really do take note of just the volume of material of correspondence you get.
And not wanting to be too cynical, but especially as we go into an election year, we have the politicians' attention perhaps even more than we do in the rest of the political cycle, correct?
Yeah, that's the cleansing part of it.
Yeah.
The people can sack you and they don't have to pay redundancy and they don't even have to owe you an explanation.
Well, hey, Stephen, we certainly appreciate the work of the Free Speech Union. This is such an important issue. I know that there's been some celebrated victories in this area before, and we just hope that there is also something to celebrate in this case in the not too distant future. Of course, fsu.nz for more information. Would encourage people there to find the articles about this latest development, and as you say, to publish them on social media, add your comments, add to the conversation there. But Stephen, thank you so much for what you do. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Andrew.
Hey, thanks very much for joining us in the Rhema studio. Thanks very much for watching the interview. It's kind of nice to have an audience, actually. And if you did like what you watched, then do give us a like, do give us the thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more interviews like that one, or perhaps even better, subscribe and those interviews will come straight to you. Don't forget to turn on your notifications, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.